Hello, all. We're doing a medium showdown today.
Showdown.
A showdown, that's right. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of them today. I'm hoping to give each medium about an hour, which means I'll probably get through maybe 2 today and then do another 2 tomorrow. But we'll see how far we get. We're going to start with acrylic. And before we start with acrylic, we're going to prep all of our canvases at once so that we don't have to do it one by one. So I'm just taping little tabs to the back of all of them. We're working nice and small today so that we can do it fast.
Tournament of medium.
That's right. The illegal fighting ring of mediums, if you will.
All in on acrylic.
Place your bets now. I'm guessing the winner in my books. I'm making predictions, and my prediction is that the winner is going to be oil over acrylics. But we'll see.
As in oil on top of acrylics, or
yeah,
oil beats acrylics outright?
No, oil on top of acrylics. I think it'll have the best of both worlds. Well, the one thing it won't have over oils will probably be speed. It will probably be slower for me to accomplish than with straight oils, but
really, because you need to let the acrylic fully dry before you do the finishing touches.
It's more about the style with which I paint in either. Because oils stay wet, and you can't fuss with stuff. It just means you kind of got to be more decided, and it means I tend to just get them done faster. Like you saw the time difference between the pomegranate lifesteal study that I did and the oil fox.
Yeah, true.
One stream versus 4 or 5 or something. So I don't know why oils just go a lot faster for me. At least alla prima oils. We're not doing long term let it dry in stages oils because obviously then we wouldn't know the answer of the showdown for weeks.
Right.
But
entirely academic.
Yes, that's right.
It's for science.
I'm a scientist. That's correct. I am a scientist.
She's something of a scientist herself.
Okie dokie. So we are now, and you guys can't see this view. I have just some miscellaneous acrylic crap, just all mixed together here. And I'm just going to use this to base coat all 4 of the canvases so that we're... Uh-oh. I'm getting a phone call. All right, I gotta take this call, guys. I know I just started, but there aren't really many of you here right now, so I'm gonna BRB, and I'll be right back after I'm done this call. I'm back. Assuming this is all where it needs to be. Oh yeah, sorry about that, guys. My grandparents aren't doing very well, so whenever my mom calls, I like have to answer the phone in case it's important. But in this case, she just wanted to talk to me about pillows. So, you know, how do you tell your mom, shut up, I'm busy? I can't talk about pillows right now.
You can turn the music down
Just a smidgen?
just a hair.
Just a hair, just a micron. Just a smidgel bit.
Just a tiny bit.
More than that?
Just
or is that good? More than that?
just a hair more.
Just a hair more,
yeah,
perhaps?
just a micro.
Just
hair
like a
more,
micron,
possibly.
slightly less?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe like a micron.
Like, that's at least 1 micron less.
Yeah, maybe just like a centicube less or something.
Even more than
No,
the
no, that's
micron?
actually pretty good. I think.
Okay, good. Hey, Pops, how you doing? I'm doing all right. We haven't even started. We're already very distracted. We're trying to get these canvases coated in this slurry that we made so that we can actually get to work. But it's very distracting out here. How are you doing, Pops? How's your week going? Off to a good start, maybe? I'm gonna try... I think what I might do is, once these are all coated, I might set a timer for each one and give myself exactly the same amount of time per medium so that we don't accidentally think one of them is better because I take a bunch of time on it and not on the others.
Scientific method at work.
Exactly. We have to remove as many variables as possible. Pretty chill week? Yeah, mine is going pretty good. It's still early. Although today has been already a bit weird. A little bit weird. Goldie was supposed to have a dentist appointment, and he showed up and they told him we didn't put that appointment in the books. So there's no appointment here for you. You're an idiot, go home.
Except they were shitty about it. They didn't accept responsibility or accountability for it. They were like, are you sure you didn't make a mistake? And I was like, bro, I called you. You're the one who gave me that date. You offered me 4 p.m. I said I couldn't do it, so you gave me 1 p.m. I'm here at 1 p.m. They tried to put the burden of proof on me.
They tried to make you the idiot when they're the idiots?
Yeah.
How dare they? So, no dentist for Goldie.
No.
And we also started later than we were supposed to because we were having internet issues again this morning. Luckily, I gave the router the old unplug and plug back in, and it seems to have fixed things, so hopefully it stays that way. But I'm always tentative when a week starts off with little things like this. Makes you wonder. Really makes you wonder. Okay. 1 orange canvas painted.
Why orange?
You can kind of pick your undercolor have a bunch of different ways. I went with orange because there's some lovely orange tones in this.
Right.
And so layering the red on top of this will make getting this vibrancy easier. But also because it's so bright, it will make me consider my my values more. It's like a nice mid-tone, so my highlights. When you start with a white canvas and you start putting white paint on it,
Yeah.
it doesn't look bright enough.
Okay.
But if the entire thing starts at a nice mid-tone, then
That really pops.
you can work up and down with more clarity. And then also it's just a tone that if it does peek through a little bit will kind of go with the vibe of the painting. Some people prefer to do it opposite style. So since there's lots of warm orange tones in it, they would actually undercoat it blue.
I see.
And then it would temper the whole painting in a direction.
Is that what
But-
the on a color wheel would be the other side?
Yeah, exactly.
Similar?
Correct.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I don't like in my work the aesthetic of having this like opposite color peek through, because I don't go that heavily stylized with my painting. I tend to err on the side of realistic. And that adds like a real stylization to it.
Right.
You saw what Kells was painting.
Yeah, with the orange like winter landscape.
And so she did that in hers. So she used
Right.
orange because the entire picture was mostly blue.
Right.
And it makes a lovely like stylized, like where the orange peeks through and stuff.
Yeah,
It adds
the,
this
like,
like life to the painting.
Highlights that she had on the trees and that were really fun.
Exactly.
And, like parts of that painting verged on realism, but the like orange highlights, like in certain parts, like you said, had like a stylism that I really liked.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
So it's kind of like you can decide what you're kind of going for, and choose accordingly. In this particular case, I just don't want that heavy of a stylization, so I'm just picking something that will work with me through the painting. It also can give you clarity on whether or not you've covered as much as you think you have.
Oh, right. It'd be harder to like know with white.
Yeah, exactly. Because white like gives a sheer color more color than it like truly has. Right. If that makes sense.
You can buy canvases that are like pre-painted white, right?
Like pre-gessoed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of them now come that way if you buy them
like
Michaels or whatever.
Worse quality than doing it yourself, or is it actually like legit? It
kind of depends on what your preferences are. For me, I don't like painting on canvas because I don't like the texture of it. I like painting on board because it's smooth and has no tooth. So if I was doing a like painting on canvas that I was taking seriously, I would have to prep it myself because I would put so many layers of gesso on and sand in between layers until the canvas had no tooth. It was smooth.
I like a canvas with tooth, chat. A real bitey canvas.
Whereas if they're store bought, they like have they just are gonna come like this. You can see they have like texture.
Yeah.
And this is board, whereas like actual canvases would have more tooth.
It's like more porous.
You guys can see the texture on these or not, but they're pretty toothy. And yeah, like an actual stretch canvas would have a lot more tooth to it. Some people like that. Some people prefer to paint on the texture. That's not me.
Totally not your vibe.
That's not my vibe. Hey Theo, welcome in. Yes, we're doing fungi today. We just picked it as a nice base picture that we hopefully won't get tired of painting 4 to 5 times in a row. That hopefully will be cute enough that like maybe somebody would buy 4 to 5 tiny paintings of it at a festival, you know? You guys know why we might pick a mushroom? If we're trying to sell it at maybe at a festival? Maybe a good subject matter for sales? I don't know, just guessing.
It's because people are always eating vegetable skewers at festivals.
And my hair is orange. Yeah, I actually just base all of my artistic decisions off of how my hair is done that day. If I have it curled, I make all my strokes all wiggly.
Oh, you guys are so silly.
Probably should have prepped this before a stream so you guys didn't have to watch me just paint 4 canvases orange, but it's alright. Yes, and ears. Don't forget the ears. In fact, the ears are a lot more orange than my hair is right now. My hair needs a re-dye. I gotta get my butt over to the Sally's Beauty store because I'm all out of hair dye.
Speak for yourself. I don't even have ears that match my hair anymore.
Yeah, you're not really Goldie anymore, are you?
I'm just brownie.
Yeah, that's taken already. That's the girl guides are gonna come after you for that. You can't use that. Never done an art show, so you have no idea what sells? Yeah, same though. I don't. I've done commissions in the past, but I've never sold pieces that I made for my own sake.
Yeah, I feel like this summer, with us going to festivals and like marketing a little bit more, will be very telling of like what is commercially viable and what isn't.
Yeah, I also like I just don't know what my work is worth. I don't like having my art around, so I can't really put my head in the mindset of people who would pay money to have my art around, if that makes sense. Um it's three of the four done. This is the last one. But I don't know. I gotta get prints made, I gotta get a shop online set up. Lots of work to get done. But I also don't want to like skew what I'm making too hard for the sake of marketability, right? Like I don't really want to be doing art for the sake of sales. I want to be doing it for the sake of liking painting, right? So uh if it turns out that like pet portraiture was the way for me to make a bunch of money, I don't think I'd do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because I just wouldn't enjoy doing it.
What about caricatures? You could get really into caricatures.
God. I don't want to hate on any artists who like what they like, but I fucking hate caricatures, guys. Historically, I have hated caricatures. They give me that like uncanny valley, like creepy puppet energy, and they just kind of wig me out. So whenever I'm at like the fair or something and there's some caricature artist there begging you to sit for their caricatures, I can't take it, man. Cannot take it. Not a fan of caricatures. But maybe that's where the money is. Maybe I gotta get over it. Should I do another one of these streams that's like a style showdown where we do like caricatures versus like photorealism versus impressionism?
That'd actually be pretty interesting to see like what a caricature
Drawn by me would look like.
Because you've never done it before.
Nightmarish would be my guess. Okay, that's 4 guys painted. I wonder if I have another pack of these because I was considering doing a 5th option, which is oil over acrylic in a grisaille style, which I've never tried before.
These?
Yes, thank you. We do. Okay, we'll prep one more then. One more for good luck. We've got the extra orange paint. Maybe Google similar pieces and see what they're selling for. Yeah, I definitely should maybe do some poking around with other Twitch streamers as well and see what their websites are all listed at and stuff like that. So when all else fails, just copy what other people are doing, right? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery and all that.
Imitation is the spice of life.
No Muppet Show for me then. I do kind of like Muppets. I didn't watch them as a kid. But I came around mostly to Gonzo and Rizzo the Rat. I don't know about the rest of them. Sometimes I look at Bunsen Honeydew and I think, no, that's not a man I can get behind.
Man, you gotta love Bunsen.
I don't know.
Animal can fuck right. Let's be real.
Beaker's freaky. Let's be real. Beaker's freaky.
Kermit's a real one.
Kermit's alright. I'll give Kermit a pass. I hate Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy's awful. But that's because her personality is awful.
So true.
I don't know. I liked some of the Sesame Street crew.
Yeah, I think Sesame Street's more goated than...
I think Big Bird's alright.
Love Big Bird. Love Bert.
Snuffleupagus is alright. Coffee time. That's lucky for you. I didn't have enough tea today, I don't think. I have to take a break after this coding is done and grab some tea.
I got myself a consolation coffee after the dentist
rejected you. stain your teeth because they
Yeah.
won't look at them. Kermie, baby.
But you didn't really grow up with like Muppets or Sesame Street. Right?
No, I didn't have any of the like Muppet movies on VHS. And it just wasn't really something I watched on TV. I was like an Arthur. I don't know what else did I watch as a kid.
Art Attack.
I was a big Art Attack kid.
That tracks.
Spent way too much time with PVA glue and loo rolls. But yeah,
Growing up, whenever he said PVA glue, I didn't realize it was just like white glue, like Elmer's glue.
he thought he
I
had
thought it
like
was some,
some special proprietary
Yeah.
glue that you couldn't do the crafts because you didn't have access to.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, where do I get this PVA glue? Also, like, is it like an acronym? Is it PVA?
I think so.
Because as a kid, I thought it was like a French term or something like PVA.
No, I think it's PVA. I don't know what it stands for. But it's just like white school glue. That's all it is. Oh,
Polyvinyl acetate.
wow. Would you look at that? Okay. We've got our canvases coated. We've got 5 of them. So not a 6th style I should be trialing, right?
Mm.
I don't think so. We're sticking with that. I'm just gonna run and rinse this out before it hardens in here forever. I'll be right back. No, not the kitchen sink.
What?
Headphones just made a noise like they stopped the music, and or the music is about to get blasted through my speakers. Headphones sometimes have really good range, and then sometimes not at all.
Yeah, we went on a hike the other day, and you had one headphone, and I had the other from the pair, and we could get pretty far away from each other.
Leave that to throw back down there.
Of course. You smudged it.
Sorry.
It's got orange on it.
Everything's gonna have orange on it now. That's the unfortunate truth. I finally fixed my setup a bit. And now, thank God, my art cam is mounted to the wall and not to my desk, so I can slam this around, and the palette cam might jump around a bit, but you guys don't get earthquaked every time I touch the desk anymore. Slowly moving up in the world. Okay, I'm just gonna grab myself a tea while I wait for this to dry, and then we'll start.
Do you want the orange to be uniform, or like do you just need it as like a pretty thin coat?
Yeah, it's a pretty thin coat. It doesn't really matter.
Interesting.
It's all gonna get covered up anyway.
Right, I guess so.
Just slap her on there. Here, this one's the wettest, so let's trade them out.
I do sometimes pop, but pretty infrequently, especially now. Before, when I didn't have a job, we would stream together. We'd do a lot of like gaming streams together. But now I work, and I don't know, just kind of value my time off. So typically, Fox will stream while I'm at work. Today's the exception. But I don't know.
We intend to try and set up so that the both of us can stream sewing content in the future. We just haven't figured out how to like put the cameras and the microphone so that it would like work.
Yeah.
Because our space is pretty small, so we'd have to kind of do a bit of thinking. But we both like make a lot of clothes and costumes for the like raves and stuff that we go to, and I think it'd be fun to like do some cosplay streaming and stuff like that. So
yeah, totally.
We'd probably do that as a duo in the future if we can like figure it out.
You'd see me probably in my most frustratable state.
You'd have to then see me in teacher mode as well, because I get asked a lot of questions.
As my consultant, I'm still very much an amateur at sewing.
But I'm hoping, too, that I might be able to convince him into maybe participating in some art streams in the future, because last year when we had more time off, I was teaching him how to draw. Not that you, like, can't draw at all, but, like, draw from a, like, more, like, trained perspective.
I've never, like, really dabbled in any kind of, like, visual arts or anything like that. And it was fun to like learn a new skill, even if it was only briefly. And it works a different part of your brain.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're like a music kid. Like he went to university for music, and like has always been more on the music side of the like art scene. And I've always been on the art side of it. So like we've crossed skills a lot over the years.
Yeah, nice. I've always been more of like in terms of creative things like metaphysical, whereas you've been physical. Like I produce things you can't really touch or interact with, like music or written content. Whereas you're very crafty and like create physical things you can touch. So it's fun to like intermingle those things and learn new skills and stuff like that. Yeah, you'll probably see a dual stream at some point in the future, I'm sure.
Chemistry is good, so a dual stream would be cool. Thanks,
I hope our chemistry
it better be good. Imagine it
15 years. Hey. What's your coffee, Arts? Are you do you drink it black? Do you have cream, sugar, dark roast, medium?
Fill it with all that sugar and milk.
Espresso, Americano, chai latte.
Some of these are so hard to open.
Black. Man after my own heart.
Same though. I've never been able to get behind coffee with a lot of sugar or milk in it. I really like the flavor of black coffee, but I've never really liked coffee flavored desserts because I don't like the taste of it with like sugar and cream.
So interesting. I like it both ways. I drink it black, I order it black, but I didn't used to. I used to be like oat milk with honey or sugar of some kind of sweetener. And then I dropped the sweetener. And then, because we were going to festivals and we camp a lot and stuff like that, I was like, I hate having to bring this shit with me. Like having to like bring little Tetra packs of oat or soy milk. So I weaned myself off that. And then I slowly weaned myself off coffee in general this last year for kind of the same reason. Like, I'd rather not have to bring the stuff with me and have to have a cup of coffee every day if I don't have to. And now on days like today when I do have a coffee, like, it's like an instant...
super jazz.
Yeah, it makes me feel like a superhero. Like, I'm way more charismatic.
It's like a drug deal. Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
It's funny. Yeah, he gets hyped up when he gets his coffee now.
So, and since I work in a, brewery, like a tap room, it's very customer facing and I have to make small talk and stuff like that. So having a cup of coffee before work gets me in the mood to actually be social. That's stopping because you were sick. Yeah, that's basically what stopped me from drinking coffee is I was sick and it was just I didn't have the stomach for it, so it was easy to go cold turkey at that point. But the headaches are brutal, going cold turkey.
Caffeine doesn't really affect me like that. I sometimes get the shakes if I drink coffee on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
I get really jittery.
Yeah.
But it doesn't keep me awake, and I don't find I have withdrawals from not having it if I've had a bunch of it for a long time or anything. But I drink a stupid amount of black tea, so maybe
you probably got some good resistance.
I've intaken 12 plus cups of black tea a day for probably since I was 5. I probably am just immune to this stuff. But Goldie also weaned me and my teas off of milk and sugar. I used to drink my tea the British way with the milk and 2 sugars in it. which is insane because
Your
I've
tea
been
was like melted ice cream.
basically, yeah, it was awful. But I loved it. And then slowly, every time you made me a tea, you just put less and less milk and sugar in it until I was drinking it black. And now my life is so much easier.
Yeah, my life is easier.
And sometimes I go
I get to
home
make those teas.
and I have a like swig of one of my parents' teas that are still made that way, and I'm like, oh, how do you drink it like this? But
I don't know whether to envy you guys who can sleep on coffee or not. Because for me, it does the trick. Like if I'm tired and I have a coffee, I'm awake again. Whereas for you, it doesn't work like that. But it also means that like 4 or 5 p.m. it's like cut off. Like I can't have a coffee even if I'm really craving one.
yeah, that's
I'll be
true.
up all night.
Alright, I feel like this is dry now, so I'm gonna set a timer and we're just gonna start in. I'm trying to do this with a like limited palette that's going to be the same for each medium. The problem is that I don't have the same colors in every single medium. Specifically, the open acrylics is a nightmare of non-standard colors. So I'm gonna try as close as possible, but we'll see what happens. So. Yes, the 1 pixel resolution mushroom painting is finished. In fact, it's actually just like a really zoomed in spot on the cap. I'm gonna do 600 of these boards and put them all up on the wall, and when it's done, it'll be a giant mushroom. How do I do with my phone? Okay, gotta set ourselves an hour timer. My mom's just texting me pictures of pillows. Just texting me pictures of pillows.
Truly
All right. 1 hour. What do we got? It's 2. We have until just shy of 4:30 before I have to leave. So we might get 1 done today. We might get 2 done today. We'll see.
got a finished piece of the stem back here.
All right. Timer is on. We have 1 hour. Okay. I tried to get you guys closer in than usual today. It looks like it's like blurred out for some reason though. Is this blurry? Where are you, blurry? This camera gets so weird. What's going on here? That's not right. That's not the furthest out it can pull, is it? It's not correct then. That's why it's so blurry. We need to be... This camera has like a tipping point because it's a phone camera where it like hops into better resolution. Giving me trouble. There we go. Where's that point? There it is. There's the better resolution. Have fun gaming, Bob. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try and block some stuff in real quick. Let's see. Start by making a black tone for the background. And we will just carve that baby out. I always do kind of like a rough drawing and paint beforehand. This has led me to problems with oil paints. It works great when you're painting with acrylics, but just trying to get some ideas of where stuff lives. Some people go right in with details in their paintings, and they just go bit by bit, carving like step by step out their entire thing. I find compositionally that kind of screws me up sometimes, so. Halfway. Okay. Here-ish. Need something underneath this so that it stops sliding around on me. I have historically been slowed down acrylic painting because I have a tendency to not put enough paint down with acrylic specifically for some reason. And I have a tendency to work in too skinny of layers for some reason. Instead of just getting thicker tones put in there. But it does work for me. I haven't been mad at the still lifes I've done in acrylic in that method, so I don't know if it's just a case that I have to accept the fact that if I'm working with acrylics, I have to give myself more time, or what, but... I'm painting for maybe 5 paintings, Chef. You can see behind me, there's 4 other prepped little orange canvases. And I'm going to paint the exact same thing 4, maybe 5 times. We are currently doing the acrylic one. Straight, normal acrylics. And I don't know what I'll do second. But I'm trying to keep a time limit on myself where I only spend about an hour on each. I picked a nice small format so that hopefully that's achievable. We'll see how we feel about it. Oh, we're sinking a little bit. Why are we sinking?
You hit the turbo button.
No sinking. No sinking allowed. I haven't gotten this all set up perfectly yet because my mount and everything just arrived today, so it's brand spanking new, and I haven't found the perfect spot for my camera to live yet. Turbo button. It's the turbo button for sure. But yeah, we're trying to focus, go fast, and still have something decent at the end, so see how we feel about it all.
We reached our new
Thank
bits
you,
goal of
Outernet.
1,000.
Welcome in.
Thank you.
Oh, and look at that. You hit our bits goal, Outa. Big thank you. Have to update that now. Starting off the week strong with a goal met. That's crazy. I tried to meet a bunch of my personal goals and get stuff taken off my to-do list yesterday, and I accomplished basically nothing except getting my taxes done. Which isn't, like, the worst in the world. At least my taxes are done now, but I, like, woke up and was like, I'm gonna get so much stuff done today. I did not. I did not, in fact, get so much stuff done yesterday. But you can't win them all, you know? Where? Who? Why, I think it's you, Oda. I don't know how I'm going to tackle... See, there's this, like, crazy, like, mess of blurred out colors in the foreground on this, which in oils should be very easy to tackle. But in this is a little bit weird to tackle. Because we don't, we can't blur this out afterwards, so I don't know how it's gonna work out, but we'll see. You know, Oda, I think we might all share a taste in streams. I see a lot of the same people, all the places I tend to go. Perhaps it's a cult and I've been indoctrinated and I didn't even know it. I am tired already of using this specific brush. I need a filbert. A slightly smaller, curvy filbert. What do we got? It works. I don't know why. In acrylics, I'm drawn to filberts. This is the guy I'm gonna switch to. I'm gonna shower, and then you're gonna digest a sumptuous Chinese meal, smoke a joint, and sit quietly watching you while the cat happily dribbles down the back of your t-shirt for a bit. That's okay. You do all of that in whichever order you please. It probably won't be a very long stream today, just so everyone knows. Around 420-ish, I gotta go. And it's 2:40 now, so just so everyone's aware. Twitch is tiny, they don't tell you that. This part of Twitch certainly is. Some parts of it feel large, but other parts of it do feel strangely small. Maybe we're all ghost haunting the same graveyard, makes it spooky noises. If you guys are the crew that I have to spend eternity haunting with, I think I'd be pleased about it. I don't think I'd be too mad. Haunting Chef would be fun. I think I'd feel bad. I think I'd have to haunt Chef gently. I couldn't haunt Chef with anger. I'd have to haunt Chef sweetly. Good conversationalist with the dead. Secretly make you breakfast every morning, like it or not. Now that's a ghost I could get behind. How do I get haunted by a ghost like that? To be fair, Goldie kind of already functions as that ghost, so maybe not every morning, but he did make me eggs earlier. Although I did demand them rather forcefully.
Yeah, I didn't really have a choice in that chat. Sumptuous Chinese meal.
Secretly eat the breakfast before retreating into the walls.
Sounds like Democracy Manifest.
Which would have you believe it's huge. That's true. It would have us believe that. I think I made this little stem a little bit too chonky, but we can cut him back in after. Yeah, I definitely made him too chonky. He's chonked up, guys. We chonked him up. What, I gotta keep the timer up here. 45 minutes! Oh god, I've wasted 50. There's no way this is getting done in an hour. Absolutely. I might have to give myself an hour and a half for each. 2 hours, maybe? How fast can I backtrack the rules of this scientific experiment? Alright, let's claw the chonk back on this bad boy. Claw that chonk right out of there. See, this is why I love acrylics, because, like, look, just like that, it's fixed. It's gone. Problem solved. None of the other mediums have this ability. Not with this speed, anyway. You eat everything, you don't digest it all, but you eat everything. I don't know if that sounds like a good thing. I've been trying to convince myself lately to stop eating when I don't really actually feel like eating it anymore. I tend to, like, if I put it on my plate, I have to finish it. Which is silly, because sometimes I eat, like, half my bowl or whatever, and I'm basically done with it. But then I ingest an extra, like, 300 calories out of sheer stubbornness.
Going for, like, all-you-can-eat sushi and to buffets no longer feels worth it for that reason to me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I used to just, like, gorm until I was...
uncomfortable.
Yeah, until I was like the pillowcase you take to Halloween to collect all the candy.
Get me a pillowcase of a man. I know I'm not your boss. I'm not telling you you can't eat a can of creamed corn. I'm just wondering if you're not digesting it. What's happening? Did you know that when that happens, when you eat the corn and it comes out the other end whole, it's not that you didn't digest it. Apparently it's that you only didn't digest the outer kernel. And all of the insides of it have been stolen and taken and turned into poop. That's what they say anyway. Don't quote me on that as scientific fact. I'm not a scientist. Except for today with this painting. Because this is the scientific method.
True. This is a lab. I expect a full lab report on this by Monday.
I didn't actually start the lab report. I failed to even write down my hypothesis beforehand. So it's off to a really bad start. Burnt Out Lily, though, made a delicious risotto and didn't even bother taking a picture. Well, if you made it and you ate it, like, it doesn't need to be photographed, chef. If you enjoyed eating it, then that's all it needed to be there for. Am I even doing? Where does the joy come from? The joy comes from eating the risotto.
Yeah, the joy is in the consumption.
Once it passes the lips, it's not my issue.
Here.
There's gotta be some joke in there somewhere. I'm not ready to riddle it out though.
I'm not touching that one.
There's a joke in there somewhere though. I don't know what it is, and I'm not gonna go looking for it, but it is in there somewhere. Spent all the time to cook it the right way, and it slapped, and we ate the risotto on the couch and watched Black Mirror, and then went to bed and tossed and turned and got very little sleep. Okay, well, the end part of that sounds terrible, but the beginning part of it sounds great. Good risotto on the couch, watching TV. I fail to see the problem. And if you're anything like me, the I tossed and turned all night and didn't get any sleep thing is just normalcy. That's just what life is like. I never get any sleep. I never expect to get any sleep. Is it possible to be in a loving marriage but still feel lonely? I don't know about that. I only ever feel lonely when Goldie is absent. I can't say that I feel lonely in his presence ever. Personally. But what the standard on all that is, I can't begin to speculate.
Yeah, I feel like there's no apples to apples with relationships.
Mm-hmm. Plus, we're freaks. You can't expect to have us. We hit some compatibility jackpot that you're not supposed to be able to hit. We've been banned from the casinos because of it.
Yeah. We in there counting cards.
You're not going there. Everyone wants to make an innuendo on Twitch. And it's true, that is a very Twitch-coded problem. Bunch of filthy minds all over this place. There, endo. You usually sleep like a brick? Well, then you should consider yourself lucky, chef. That's a talent I do not possess. Unless I'm in a car or a train. And then I'm out cold. I don't know why. Those are the only times I sleep. In vehicles. You snore and laugh and fart. And none of that wakes you up. I feel like if I laughed in my sleep, it would wake me up. Too married for a casino. That's right, we've been barred from the casinos. Not because we're married, but because we're too lucky. We're so lucky that we've been banned because we're too much of a financial risk for the casinos. That's how it works. That's what happens when you get that much luck. You struggling with loneliness too, Oda? It's hard to feel connected to people in the world sometimes.
Especially like post-COVID.
Certainly, even like with certain friends that I have, I sometimes get a sensation of like wondering how I can be so close with these people and then sometimes still feel so separated from them and so like misunderstood by them and like I don't truly understand or relate to them, which can kind of create feelings of loneliness.
Stuff too, as like, not to project on anyone, but like as someone who's like kind of an introvert, you have the feeling of like, I want to be out there and I want to be like engaging with people and connecting with people, and then when you do it, it doesn't feel fulfilling, or it's like kind of exhausting.
It doesn't come naturally.
Yeah, so you feel like it's kind of contrived and difficult, and like this is really what you were fantasizing when you were alone at home. But like I said, post-COVID, like the world's a really different place.
Very much so. Trapped in the house with dad, so you only get to escape after he sleeps for 20 minutes. Yeah, that is tough, Oda. The family responsibility end of the things is always kind of tough. It's hard to sometimes balance the responsibilities of life with the desires you have for entertainment and connection and just your own pursuits. It's not easy, guys. If you find it tough out there, just know that it's not easy for most people. It's definitely a weirdness and a struggle to just like managing a life so that you get all the things you feel obligated to do but also want to be doing done. And sometimes it just kind of seems like it's necessary to have portions of your life where you kind of have to let some things go by the wayside. I definitely, even to be able to stream and paint as much as I have been, I've had to sacrifice other hobbies and other relationships and stuff in my life to fit the time in, right? So
yeah, I feel like part of maturing is understanding that like everything comes with a cost.
But I think my mom is kind of going through a very similar sensation right now, and I have a lot of conversations with her about it because my dad's gone most of the time. Like he lives at home and he works only during the week, but he has a lot of responsibilities right now with my grandparents being fairly sick, and so he doesn't spend time at the house very often outside of like coming home from work, going to sleep, waking up, and doing it all over again. And so my mom has been left at home caring for her mom who lives with them, who's starting to get up there in age and is starting to have memory problems and starting to have just like fussiness problems with like what she's willing to eat and taking care of herself. And it's all become my mom's responsibility. Kind of arbitrarily, it kind of got landed on her without real choice. But she obviously feels like she can't just like abandon her mom to fend for herself when she's not capable of doing that. But I think she feels really isolated because she doesn't connect to my grandmother and feel connected to her socially at all. So she's just alone right now in this house with her all of the time with like no one really to talk to and nothing really to do. And recently her truck broke down, and the part to fix it has been on back order for months. So it's now been weeks and weeks and weeks, and she hasn't been able to like even leave and drive anywhere. And they live in suburbia, so it's not like you can really walk anywhere either. So she's just been trapped in there with her. And every time I talk to her about it, it seems like she's going just a little bit crazier.
What's the tea situation? You want another tea?
I haven't even drank the one I made myself yet because I've stressed myself out with my time limit and I'm rushing. I wonder if I'm allowed to pause to drink my tea. Is that part of the scientific method or no? Or do I have to add getting a full tea drank to the hour time limit for each painting?
Frankly, I think it's deplorable that you don't have safety glasses and gloves on. Where's your white lab coat?
The conditions haven't been set. They haven't been standardized. Oh, my headphones just cut out and it was making fun, good poppy noises.
That's unlucky.
Give me back my poppy noises. This already looks great. Nailing the colors. Thanks, Kels. We're doing a showdown. I don't know how long you've been here for, but we're doing this same painting 4, maybe 5 times. And we're gonna do each version in different mediums and see how it comes out. We're trying to restrict it to an hour per painting, but I already have a feeling that's not going to work. So we'll see how much this is done at the hour mark and decide if I have to up it to
What's your timer at?
2 hours or an hour and a half. My timer is at 28 minutes. It's not happening, man. It's not. There's no world. I'm gonna have to up it probably to an hour and a half or 2 hours.
And you said this would go faster or slower than other mediums?
Slower. It should go second slowest. The only thing that should go slower than this is oil over acrylic.
Okay. And hey, Kels. Hey, Schmuckleberry. Hope you guys are good.
Hey, Schmuckleberry. We're trying to figure out what we actually like, what actually works for us. I'm not really sure. I'm never really sure what I'm doing, and I'm hoping this is going to teach me some things about what I'm doing.
I'm excited to see the final products, like to see the like differences
Comparisons?
between them. And
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting. Hopefully there's like a clear winner.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I have a feeling that's not how it's gonna go.
Well, even if like there's not a clear winner in terms of like final product, there might be a clear winner in terms of like workflow, right?
Right.
And ergonomics. I like that emote.
It's one of Cal's. Love the mushroom people. I'm curious how done with this mushroom I'm gonna be by round 4 or 5. I can't imagine that I'm gonna be very pleased about having to do so many of them. I don't really know how to tackle this, like, stupid stumpy bit.
Like in the background.
This right here, this guy. He's very in focus, which means I should probably get a liner out and do all of his details like real details, but...
Is a liner like a fine tip brush?
Yeah, exactly. Just a little skinny pointy guy, like the ones we would paint Warhammer with back in the day. Back in our goblin painting era.
Mm-hmm. Thinking about Warhammer before I fell asleep last night.
Why?
I don't know, I was thinking about, like, I used to collect Lizardmen from the OG Warhammer when I was like 10.
Lizardmen.
And I was just dog shit at painting them. Like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and like I found some of them a couple of years ago in my mom's basement, and they were just laughable. Like these, like, in The Simpsons, like, who is it, Homer or someone develops like the makeup gun and just like like a bunch of makeup onto
Marge's face. Yeah.
Just, all my lizard men look like that.
That's a great example. Could you design one of those for me so I don't have to do my makeup?
Yeah, sure. Just fill the AeroPress with a bunch of like blush. Alright, I gotta get this cap carved in there. We're running short and low on time. Nyrim, hello. Welcome in. Quick, chug the tea. It's not even hot anymore. You want a fresh one?
Mm-mm.
There's no time.
Not time for that. My friend Laura made this mug. Or was this an Erin piece? No, I think it's a Laura piece. My friend Laura made this mug, and I stole it from her because she put it in a box of what she described as her crappy, broken pottery.
Yeah,
There's literally nothing wrong with it. It's a perfect mug. It's got like a cute blue and like spotty little... It's perfect. It's fantastic. And she had it in a reject box. And I think that's just a cruelty upon that mug. Okay.
It's weird that this became the like stereotypical
Mushroom.
Yeah, mushroom.
I mean, its pattern is very like
It's iconic.
memorable.
Yeah.
If you came across this in the woods, it would just be a little delight, you know?
Have you ever seen one in person?
I don't think so.
I saw one in Digby.
Really?
Yeah, I went for a walk with my mom and it was on the side of the road.
Maybe I have,
It's really
but
surprising.
it's not ringing any bells. Get the royalties. Okay, everybody's constantly doing things that I'm thinking about stealing, so... And I ain't sending anybody royalties. See, the problem is that I picked a red that is way too sheer, and now it doesn't want to cover this background color. Fuck. See, this is the great thing about acrylics, though, is that because I have this problem, what we do is we just put white over top of it. And then we go back over top of this again with the red afterwards. Problem solved.
This is fascinating. It looked like you weren't putting anything on.
The red is just too sheer. I should have grabbed I just grabbed a red arbitrarily.
Huh.
I didn't think very hard about it because I'm trying to like get similar tones across the paintings, but
What the fuck? They have faces?
I'll lick that out, Annette. Thank you. But yeah, I was trying to get similar tones for each painting, but I don't have matching pigments for each medium, so we're just kind of going with what we have available to us.
I don't know. Sounds like a pretty unscientific variable to me.
We could go and pick up the same kind of paint for each one, but it's gonna cost you. Let me tell you, it's gonna cost you.
Oh, jeez.
Or we could have done the painting solely in the only pigments that I have in every color, which I think might be burnt umber and titanium white. That's it. That's all we could use. Okay. So I'm just getting this shape in here. I am gonna go over this. I know that he's vibrant and he's not this color, but this is just to cover up that background mess. Still a little bit dark at the bottom here. Get over there. Oh, there's my fan up. Dry this at lightning speed with the fan. In the meantime, let's put another coat on that top area. It's not dark enough. Ask nicely. Annette's hiding his trade secrets from everyone. Damn it, Kills! She said I need more tea. She redeemed it. I have to stop and get more tea. Crap. All right.
Teal.
Yeah. Shit. Okay, I'm getting it.
More teal. Can you imagine? Kelsey, you've gotten me real into a rat-a-tat season these days. I work at a brewery, and I get to pick like whatever we put on Spotify at the brewery. And because of your streams and this like playlists you have on, I put on rat-a-tat all the time.
Okay. Have another cup. Have another cup. I have another cup. Not
It is looking good.
She said more tea. I had to do it. What are we at time-wise? Like 15 minutes? We're so fucked. There's no way I'm getting this done. I guess I gotta give them like 2 hours each. I don't know. Okay, I got like 18 minutes. Can we pull this together in 18 minutes? I need a larger brush.
Yeah, I work in a brewery that it's like pretty small scale, but I get to drink free beer
And DJ all day?
yeah, exactly. It's pretty chill. I used to work for the CRA, which is like the Canadian IRS, like the taxation agency, and I used to work collections. So I would call people and tell them they owed money and then freeze their bank accounts. So this is a pretty nice change of pace from that job. The pigeon, I don't know. I haven't gotten an update yet. I haven't worked since that day. Tonight I'm going in for a trivia night. So I'll find out. I'll figure out if it's still in there or not.
For anybody who missed this story last stream, when Goldie went to work the other day, apparently they had the back garage door at the brewery open, and a hawk, an eagle?
Yeah.
A hawk flew in, flew around for a while, and then flew back out, and then shortly after a pigeon flew in and would not leave. So at the end of Goldie's last shift, there was just a pigeon living in the brewery that they could not evict.
Yeah, he was just chilling up on the rafters. Which is funny, because we currently have a beer called Stubborn Cardinal, and it's named that because a number of years back, a cardinal did the same thing and wouldn't leave.
Well, I guess stubborn pigeon must be in the works.
I don't know if this will even be viewable on the stream, but Kind of. There's the pigeon in the brewery up on the rafters.
One problem with acrylics is that, like, fuck, I hate how colors change as they dry. It drives me insane. Like, this seemed light enough, and then I painted it on, and now it looks like I didn't do anything at all because it just dried so much darker. But whatever, it's fine.
An owl is a weird one because they're like nocturnal, aren't they? Like, how does that even happen?
Worried about him developing a drinking problem. Well, everybody else who works at the brewery except Goldie seems to develop a drinking problem.
Actually,
So
my God.
I wouldn't hold out hope for him. But yeah, an owl is crazy. More pork? Is that a,
Squirrel reference?
I'm assuming it's a town or a city that I am not familiar with. But yeah, it reminds me of, I don't know if anybody here is a Discworld fan. But the town in Discworld is called Ankh-Morpork.
Yeah, I'll stay strong, chef. It's tricky though. I was saying last stream, like, you use grain to make beer, right? So there's just like burlap sacks of grain everywhere in the back of the brewery where that pigeon was. So hopefully it didn't peck itself a nice snack.
Hopefully it did. Otherwise, it's gonna be one hungry fucking pigeon.
That's true.
Your boss must have, like, if it was still there after a day, like,
You'd
called
have to do
somebody to do
something.
something about it, right?
I don't know.
Like,
Our margins are pretty tight, so. I like that brush.
this one?
Yeah.
It's a makeup brush. It's a blush brush. I didn't have a big, like, fluffy blending brush, so I'm using an X makeup brush of mine. I ruined the other one doing the same thing with it for oils, though. It's so... I don't know where you guys can... It's so gross and, like, crusty now. Even the water mixable oils, like, they don't... Without solvent, like, they really don't clean out nicely. I might have to cave and buy some, like, what's it called? Odor-free solvent. Some of the, like, safe, modern stuff. Because, like I said, it just doesn't... This doesn't clean the way I want it to.
Yeah, we ain't got no room in our bottom line for bird feed these days.
Feed. Well, I mean, your boss had to, like, let go of some of the brewers, right?
Yeah.
Because they're
Things-
costing him too much money.
It's not been a good year for breweries, I don't think. And in the city we live in, like, 3 of the other, like, breweries our size have gone under, so they're strange times.
If anybody is watching what I'm doing and wondering what the hell I'm doing, with acrylics, if you want to get a nice, soft, like, background photo blur blend on things, you can lay a thin layer of your acrylics down, spray the canvas directly with a little bottle of misty water, and then get something big and fluffy like this and just really lightly buff it in. Sometimes it works out better than other times, but it helps just get rid of some of the hard edges. In case anybody's looking for photorealism tricks in acrylic. Feel less sad when you started chatting today? Good, Chef. I'm glad. You know the community here is always happy to be hanging out with you, so.
I think it's really cool how, like, interconnected the art community
On Twitch is? I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Fling the breakfast in the trash, then hey, if you got extra breakfast that other people aren't using, you can send it my way. I can pick the bacon out. Play some Marvel Rivals. All right. Have a good Marvel Rivals, chef.
Safe travels.
It sounds like I might be playing some Marvel Rivals on Friday with Goldie's brother and him. So I've played it once before and had middling results. I just wished it was Overwatch the whole time.
Yeah.
But
We'll
see. We will see.
It's tough when you don't know, like, the characters, right? It's so hard to start a game like that.
And there's just a lot of information you gotta, like, acquire all of a sudden.
Exactly.
But thanks for hanging out, Chef, if you're
Yeah, it's been
not
great.
gone already. Appreciate you. I hope you have a lovely game. I hope you win. I hope you grind that Hulk into dust.
Yeah. Turn Luna Snow into ground chuck. Punch the thing in the nose, Bernie.
Hey here for cheese. Welcome in. Unfortunately, I have no cheese to give out today. Just mushrooms.
What's move transition? Is that like when you change scenes and it's like an actual like animated shift?
It sounds exciting.
It's weird that the spots on these mushrooms are like flaky.
Yeah,
But you can peel them off.
they look like something out of Willy Wonka, where like they're like it's actual icing on there that you could like take chunks out of.
Totally. Yes, that's correct. That's exciting.
I wish I had room for a green screen like you have, Kel, so I could be a cutout instead of a big block over here, but I'd have to obliterate Goldie's computer setup to fit one.
True. That's very precious to me.
Okay, we're going on time. It's got to be close now. An hour was way too. Okay, I got 9 minutes. An hour was way too optimistic. I don't know why I thought that was gonna work. Let's see. Need. Try and get the work on this stem done.
Yeah, mushrooms are crazy. What was the like yellow one? Witch's butter? That's
Yeah.
edible? Yeah.
The
we
like
went
little
through
like yellow snot looking fungus that grows on stuff in the woods.
We went through a short like mushroom foraging phase when we lived in PEI, and it was fun, but it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, if you're not careful.
Yeah, like we found some chanterelles, but we had to like be very careful that they weren't like false ones. And a lot of the ones that are easy to identify, like they don't taste that good.
We used to forage, what's it called? Fiddleheads a lot in
Yeah.
PEI too. They're really easy to find in spring and PEI. Like any trail you go on, like there's gonna be a billion of them.
Yeah, as long as there's a like body of water, you'll probably find some ostrich ferns. And I'm a huge dandelion fan.
Oh yeah.
Every summer in PEI, I would go out and pick like 1,000 dandelions and then make dandelion honey. Where you just like you basically boil the flower heads and like steep them in water until the water like gets a bunch of the like I don't know.
It's like jam, kind of technically.
Yeah,
Sort of.
pretty much.
Jelly.
You just steep them in water and boil them, and then
Strain it all out.
yeah, and then reduce that with sugar until it's like a syrup. And it's a really fun, like, floral tasting honey substitute. Only foraged psychedelic mushrooms.
I wish I foraged those. I pay my money for those.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
We, apparently that's pretty common on PEI. They grow a lot in, like, farmers' fields there.
Yeah, and the like baseball fields and stuff.
Yeah.
I've heard that as well. Green screen was a fun addition. I liked when you were doing the dad stream kills and you used it to put yourself in that little truck so that you were riding around beep beep style. I thought that was some clever use of OBS layering. I really liked that. Gonna have a lurk, cheese? Thanks. Thanks for the lurking. Have a good lurk. Have a good lurk too, Kels. Get her set up. Honestly, realistically, the less people chat today, probably the better for me. I don't have time to read it, guys. It's a good thing Goldie's here and he can talk to you guys on my behalf instead.
Facilitate chat.
I'm gonna get too used to it, and then I'm not gonna want to stream while you're at work. I'm like, crap, I gotta answer my own chat.
This is coming along.
I think we gotta be like at
4
time.
minutes or something.
Oh yeah,
4:30.
minutes. We're gonna have to give it an hour and a half. I think I can do an hour and a half. Which probably means realistically this is the only one we're going to be able to do today.
You said it was 5 in total?
4, maybe 5.
Okay.
I'm going to do guaranteed what I have listed on the screen in the stream title. And then I might do... So when you do acrylic and then layer over top of it with oil... There are kind of 2 options for that. And one of them replicates like a true oil technique, like an old school, like Renaissance oil technique called grisaille, which essentially means you paint your underpainting in black and white, and then you add the color in washes or what's it called? Wash isn't the word. Glazes.
Okay.
And glazes afterwards.
Like really thin layers that are like transparent?
Exactly, yeah. And so grisaille kind of gives like a really interesting idea to me because if I do the underlayer of the grisaille in black and white in acrylic and then do the colors over top of it in oil, I'm interested to see if that will come out differently than if I do the underpainting in acrylic in color and then add oil over top in color. So I'm tempted to do the 5th one because I want to know if that would make any discernible difference to me. But I don't know if I have 5 of these mushrooms in me, so we'll see how I feel when we get there. It's going to be probably 2-3 streams worth of doing this would be my guess. If I can only get 1 done today, I'll probably do at least another 1 or another 2 tomorrow. And then we'll see where we're at.
Are oils generally more expensive than acrylics? Or is it all kind of comparable?
No. Yes and no. They are all kind of comparable in that both have a variety of grades.
Right.
And both use the exact same pigment base.
Okay.
So an expensive paint in acrylic, like cadmium red or whatever, is going to be expensive in oil as well,
Right.
because it's the pigment that's expensive,
Okay.
not the binders. But similarly, like oils have like student grade versus what's it called?
Like
Artist grade,
Yeah.
and professional grade varieties. So there's kind of a price point for every person. And if you don't want to pay for the expensive pigments, most companies sell hues that you can be using instead, or you can
Okay.
just kind of opt for a cheaper pigment that does something similar.
Got it.
That being said, the lowest point on acrylics is way cheaper than the lowest point on
Right.
oils. But like at that point, you're talking like Kids Craft
Yeah,
paint,
the like
basically.
powder
Yeah.
shit that you add water to.
Like that stuff back there is acrylic.
Okay.
Like poster paint,
Yeah.
basically, that you'd be buying at the dollar store. So you can get acrylic paint for like $1 for a bunch of it, but it sucks.
Right.
It's not good. Even like some of the entry brands, like Liquitex has like a base level, like their first starter level of paint, I think is just awful. I don't know why anyone would use it and not just like cave and go up to the next level up.
Right.
I guess it kind of depends on like how much paint you go through. Oh gosh, damn it. Okay, so that's how much we got done in an hour, guys. I'm gonna add half an hour to this.
Be right back.
Okie dokie. And we'll see where we get there. Okay, half an hour's been added. This wet palette has been a game changer for my acrylic painting. I'm a very big fan of it. It saves me a lot of time not spraying my palette down and remixing things. extremely stupidly small brush that I use way more than I probably should.
It's freakishly small.
It's freakishly small indeed.
The difference between like professional and student grade, does it have more to do with like longevity or more to do with like fidelity? Like more the like feel of the paint and it's like easier to work with? Or that it's like longer lasting and like museum grade?
Neither really. So the main difference is pigment load.
Okay.
So a high grade pigment is going to be mostly, or a high grade paint is going to be mostly just the base medium. So like if we're talking oil paints, your base medium is usually linseed oil.
Okay.
So a good, like a really high quality oil paint is going to be linseed oil and the pigment, the single pigment that you want the color to be. So like ultramarine blue.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Although I don't think there are very many companies selling paints in that level of what's it called? Quality.
Yeah.
That's why I'm Painting Badly makes his own paints.
Right.
Because he can't, for a decent price, get paints with a high enough pigment load without a bunch of binders in them.
I see.
So the lower cost paints, basically, they stretch the amount of pigment that they put in the quantity of paint by adding a bunch of binders or like chalks and things into the paint to give it opacity without using more pigment, which is expensive.
Okay.
So the lower quality ones are going to be just kind of harder to work with in terms of color mixing.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not a clean mix between two pigments. There's binders in there that are going to mess with the like way that those interact.
Okay.
And it also means that like it's going to have lower opacity than a high pigment load paint would.
I see. Would that be desirable in some cases? Wouldn't you like want transparency for some applications?
Yes. Especially for like washes and glazes and stuff.
Right.
You do want a sheer pigment load, but you also can achieve that very easily if you have a base paint that has a high pigment load. Then all you need to do is mix it with your own medium to dilute it down to the sheerness that you want.
Right. Okay.
So you don't need to necessarily like own a like crappy grade paint in addition to your good grade paint. You would just use a medium that you have on hand to lower the sheerness of it to where you want it to be.
That makes sense.
But yeah, it's kind of a tough. The other thing that can make paint a lot cheaper and more affordable is instead of using straight pigments, they use what they call hues, which are basically they take other pigments and they combine them all together to make like what they're saying is like a cadmium yellow hue instead of like true cadmium yellow, which is just cadmium yellow ground and put into a pigment.
Right.
The problem with that is that similar to there being a bunch of binders in there, if there are a bunch of different pigments making up the base, it's going to mix really muddily with other colors. So it might make a nice strong color on its own, like out of the tube. If it looks good, that's great. But then if you mix it with something, it won't behave the same way that like single pigment colors will.
Right. Okay.
It's really annoying because so cadmiums are notoriously expensive. And on top of that, cadmiums are toxic.
Okay.
And so paint companies are marketing what they're calling like non-toxic cadmium hues.
Okay.
They're basically saying like, buy this, it's like cadmium, but it's safe.
Okay.
And all it is just a cheap hue made of other pigments that's going to perform worse than the cadmium.
I remember hearing Badly, like you were watching Badly and him talking about this, but they're being priced at the same.
Exactly. They're being priced as if they're cadmium hues because people are using them and comparing them to that. But in actuality, they're just like crappy cheap hues. And you could be buying any like cheaper yellow instead.
Right.
And yeah, or a better effect even. Like it's stupid. But I mean, like they're companies, right? They want to make their dollar just as everyone else does, I guess. But
that's awful. I hate all the paint companies in the world.
Well, what about Badley's paint company he's working on? He's gonna be different there
Okay.
until
I'll give him a pass.
until the money makes him evil one day. Till one day it goes too far and the money makes him evil. But yeah, like if you're just like entry grade, like it's not stuff that is going to make or break your ability to paint, like buying like a good quality versus poor quality paint. The like light fastedness and longevity of the paints is mostly going to come down to proper prep work and proper like use of the pigments, and then glazing, like a what's it called, not glazing, varnishing afterwards.
Okay.
To like create a sacrificial like UV layer to protect your work from. But also, every pigment has its own light fastedness. So choosing light fast pigments as your pigments makes the difference, which doesn't necessarily make a paint more or less expensive, because that just comes from how
The pigment itself.
yeah, is sourced, right? But
So would there be cases, you might not know this, where like a hue actually has more longevity than the pure pigment?
probably. But I would say that in all likelihood, there's probably a pigment out there you could be using instead.
I see.
I mean, technically speaking, like when you're painting, you're mixing hues the entire time.
Right,
Like you're
okay.
custom making a hue out of like the bases. So if you have like the right red, yellow, and blue bases that are color fast, then like everything you mix from them is going to be as color fast as those bases. You don't
Okay,
really have to
yeah.
worry about it, right?
Sure.
Whereas if you're using hues, like a lot of companies don't disclose what's even in those. So you have no like, you can go by their light fast data that they release with the paints, but you can't like, you don't know what's in there, so. But I don't know. I find like color theory and paint theory really fascinating. I'm not particularly well read on pigment theory, but I know enough to get me by, and I don't know. I just find it interesting stuff. I
I
need
find
this.
the mechanics of it really neat. Like watching Badly physically make the paint looks really satisfying.
Did you see? You probably didn't. He got a paint roller. He bought like a machine
Okay.
to
No,
make
I didn't
it.
see that.
And it's really satisfying looking to watch. I'll show you on the Discord afterwards.
Okay, cool.
But it's fun. It's fun stuff. I'm just putting a bunch of yellow on this corner because I found the this corner is very vibrant. There's a couple spots on here that are like super vibrant right here as well. So I'm loading it with yellow, and then I'm going to coat this yellow in the red afterwards in hopes that it kind of punches the vibrancy up on this a little bit. Should be working faster than this though, because I'm going to run out of time again. I know it looks like I'm doing an insane thing that isn't in the picture right now, but it'll all make sense in a minute.
Going crazy with the yellow.
I know. Can't be stopped. But artists all just kind of get their own ideas about what pigments they like working with, how they like things to mix together. There's a lot of artists who like are known for like using specific pigments that they're particularly drawn to.
Right.
I don't have like a bias towards anything yet.
It must be frustrating when like you're into a specific paint or company and then they like change their formula.
Yeah,
Like-
your mom complains all the time about the like drop off in Winsor Newton's quality
it's kinda
over
what
the
I'm
like years
referring
of
to.
her painting. Goldie's mom is a
Watercolor artist.
artist. So she's been dealing with this stuff for, I don't know, 50 years.
Yeah.
She's decent with the graphite too. She does a lot of pencil drawings
Yeah.
as well.
She's done pen and ink as well.
Yeah, and I've seen her do some like oil and acrylic,
Yeah.
but she just never did it anywhere near as frequently as she
No.
did watercolor and graphite. She clearly had a love for the way that watercolors worked that she didn't feel when she used oils and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's also just the first medium she sunk her teeth into. So it's tough to say whether it's a like
Just comfort thing.
yeah, exactly. Or like if it actually is the one that clicks best. Because I think by the time she tried like acrylic and oil, she was like an established artist and had a studio, was teaching lessons, stuff like that.
Yeah, it would be hard too if like you're known locally as being a certain kind of artist, like you're known as the watercolor
Yeah.
lady. You teach watercolors and you like go to the market selling watercolors. People kind of come to expect that from you, and if you like just pull out a different style, like sometimes that can backfire for you in terms of like profitability.
Totally.
Which is something I am striving against in my own art journey, that I refuse to get pigeonholed for the sake of like marketability. I'm gonna continue painting whatever the hell seems fun to me.
This is an adult stream where we can paint whatever the hell we want.
Well, that's not completely true. I think there's some things we could paint that terms of service would shut us down for. It's dry. It's dry enough. See, I think part of the problem, I picked a crappy red for this. I picked Quinn red, which like tonally isn't really, it's not really what I want to be using right now, but
What
it's what's here, so.
why, like, is it too orange? Or
It's not, it doesn't have like a vibrancy. Like you can look at it out of the tube, right? Like this is straight red,
okay.
and like it's already not at that level of vibrancy.
Okay.
So like you can't really like up mix it to be more vibrant than it comes out of the tube.
See.
It's not like tonally that bad. Like I wouldn't call it too yellow or too blue.
It's just not saturated.
It's just not saturated enough.
Interesting.
Probably like a CAD red would have done me better, but it's okay. Like I said, layering it on top of this yellow will fix a little bit of the problem. Just gotta kind of put it on thick. Put them on there good and thick. I don't even know if like on camera the like difference in vibrancy by doing it this way like reads or not, but it's insane how much different art looks in real life than
Absolutely.
the like digital or photographed like versions of it.
Which is another aspect of marketing that would be tricky, right?
Yeah, I'm sure like there's probably a lot of paintings, like famous paintings that I like have never been into, that if I saw them in real life I'd be like, oh, I kind of get it now.
Yeah.
I've like historically like kind of hated Monet's work, but I have a funny feeling if I saw it in real life I would like kind of claw that back pretty quickly.
I believe it's pronounced Monet.
I like looking at Monet's work while listening to Chopin.
Listening to Batch.
Okay.
Ooh, I can't wait for those spots.
I'm scared of the spots. Let that dry. We'll work on this little stumpy bit while we wait. It's a little dumpy stumpy over here. What do we got for time? 11 minutes. Uh-oh. This experiment has taught me that I work too slow. All I have learned is that I work too slow.
I feel like I can sort of answer that. Fox dislikes Impressionism in general, I think.
I like traditional Impressionism, like the greats, the group of seven. I'm not for. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it. I've come around. Definitely. I have definitely come around a lot compared to my previous tastes. And I certainly have seen Impressionist work, especially modern Impressionist work, that I actually really like. I don't know that it would ever be a style I could do. I don't know if I can really wrap my brain around it. I am actively working, though, to try and put my oil painting work in the direction, at least, of a little bit more impressionistic. I'm trying to get away from like painting every single detail exactly as it exists. Just because I find there's not a lot of like artistic creativity that goes into just like sitting and photocopying what I look at. So for like long-term creative enjoyment, I don't think I would keep enjoying painting if I just did photorealism forever. Not to say that it's not like a valuable skill to pursue. But yeah, I don't know. Monet is like not the worst. To me, like the group of seven is the type of impressionism that historically I was just like, what is this garbage? I'm not interested in this. But I kind of get it now. Like I said, I've come around. I've come a long way.
Would taking a more like impressionistic stance like improve the speed of your workflow, do you think?
Maybe. Potentially.
We've been watching it's not by the BBC, but there's some kind of British series from like 2015.
It's called like Landscape Painter of the Year, I think. They
Yeah.
also have a Portrait Painter of the Year one.
Where they get like a bunch of different painters and they all give them like the same subject matter. It's like typically an old like famous like building in the UK with like a nice like vista, and they all have to paint it, and they all have like a variety of styles and backgrounds and stuff like that. Some are a little more abstract. They all use different mediums, and then they get 4 hours, which isn't a lot of time, to paint the subject matter, and then 1 out of the 8 gets chosen to proceed on to the next heat. And it seems like on that show, people who paint in an impressionism style, like get a lot more done.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of the people who have like a more
Like
realism,
expressive, like
yeah, they the people who paint like in realism like really struggle because the paintings that they've submitted to like as their application are paintings that took like 20 to 40 hours.
it's definitely the case. And the way I painted the couple like alla prima oil paintings that I have kind of like reflect that, right? They certainly like took me a lot less time, and it's because I'm not like putting the details in. You're suggesting them.
Right.
You're giving the impression of them, which is the point conceptually of impressionism. But like I said, I'm not fully wrapped around the style of it yet. I have I get in kind of a flow when I'm painting where I become the copier. I just am looking at the things I'm playing, like how is it different, and I'm finding the differences and correcting them. And that's great for like representationalism and finding out how to make like a, say, a portrait look like a portrait is supposed to, or a still life look like the thing you're painting. What I'm bad at is like giving the idea of something in less strokes, in less words, which is what you have to be able to do with impressionism. And in some cases, they like don't necessarily do it in less strokes. I've certainly seen a lot of impressionist art that like is extremely detailed, but the details are made up of like not what the real details are. It's like a bunch of tiny dots or a bunch of tiny squiggles when you get up in there close, right? So all of that, like, I don't know. Part of the problem, I think, is that a lot of good impressionist work comes from like honing a style so that you become trained in being able to look at something and then recreate it through like a filter of your own style. And that gets more and more successful the more and more comfortable you get with the style that you've created for yourself. And I'm like kind of anti-style in my mentality. And so it's hard for me to continue work on, like, it's hard for me to redo the same style I did more than once, I guess is the thing.
Right. You like variety?
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't like hone the skill to be able to like easily, quickly like run a thing through in my head to understand how to like turn a picture into the style that I do, because I don't do a style, if that makes sense. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm very interested to see how these come together or don't stylistically in each of the mediums I'm doing. Okay, I have like 3 minutes left. I gotta put the spots in. The spots gotta go in, guys. Might look like I'm gonna go slightly over time here.
What percent of the way done would you say you are?
I can be done. Like, aside from adding the spots, like I can be done here. But if I wasn't on a timer and I wasn't trying to keep these all the same speed and work with speed, I could probably continue working on this for another full hour to 2 hours.
Right.
Hell, if I wanted to, I could probably work on it for another 3 hours. But to get it where like I would be completely happy with it, I would say I would need another hour. But for just a little like conceptual study, it's not the worst. I'm not going to get these in the 3 minutes. They also technically, they kind of need a second layer. There is like shadow work in each of these spots that I should go back in and put in.
Wow.
What? Okay, it's 3:57. So just time how much longer it takes me to finish this.
Okay.
I was right in my assumption that I was only going to get one of these done.
Like you, Foxman, I don't paint either. But I feel like that's like kind of gives us a privilege when it comes to like appreciating art. I feel like seeing a painting come together like has such a magical quality by virtue of like not really having a relationship with the process, if that makes sense. Like I watch Fox put paint on paper and it just feels like, how do you know how to put that there? You know what I mean?
Probably don't realistically need to be copying these as like precisely as I am, but I'm worried if I don't, they're not gonna like pattern the way that they pattern in real life. Yeah, so I'm kind of neglecting chat because I'm on a time crunch. Yeah, it's true about realism that you do have to be a lot more aware of the differences between what you're making and the reference. It's kind of freeing to paint a little bit more impressionistically because you can like absolve yourself of those specificities. I had fun painting the Hobbit house that I did specifically because I like allowed myself not to be copying the picture and to be like, I don't really feel like painting this bush, so I'm not gonna. So there's definitely a like layer to that. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the like queries about like how long people's work takes. The answers are always interesting because sometimes you're like horrified by how fast other people can get stuff done. And it just seems like it's not fair. How can they possibly crank it out so quickly?
Excuse me.
Get out of there. Slightly too ham on the water on that one. Trying to blur some of those back ones out a little bit because they're fuzzy in the reference. Which again, like that's the like photorealistic painter in me talking. I didn't need to do that step. There's no inherent reason for it.
Yeah, that painting's crazy.
I will look at it once I am done my spots.
And that's kind of what I'm on about. Like, I remember seeing a meme a while ago about like Bob Ross and like watching, what is that show called?
The joy of painting.
Yeah, Joy of Painting. And like halfway through an episode, you're like, I don't know about this one, Bob. Like, it's looking kind of messy. And then like 3/4 of the way in, he just like busts out the palette knife and like it all comes together. And you're like, hot damn, he's done it again. Like, seeing the mechanics at work, it feels like an act of magic. It feels like a circus performance or like just this like amazing talent that people shouldn't be able to have. It's so cool. It's interesting too. I remember like Fox taking art history at university and talking about how like we didn't always have a good idea of perspective, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
like they
something you
didn't
had
know
to
what the hell
figure
they were
out.
doing.
And it's like, you know how they said like the number zero didn't exist for the longest time, like it had to be invented, and it was like a breakthrough when it happened. And it's crazy to think of perspective being this like thing that they had to unlock and like level up to like develop the skills on and stuff.
Yeah, when especially like from a modern perspective, it's like, well, like if somebody just told them, like I was told, how easy would it have been, you know?
Yeah, but like if there was some kind of like, I don't know, apocalyptic event that like
Wiped
wiped
everyone
out
who knew it.
civilization and like all the annals of history and stuff like that, like people would have to figure it out again. It's crazy. It's like actual magic. It's so wild. So I don't know. I think like not really. I would love to learn how to do visual art and be good at it and stuff, but there is kind of a privilege by virtue of not being in that world and not really like having it at your fingertips.
Just going in with straight white now. Try and like bump some of these up a little bit. There's some whiner somewhere who's gonna be like, don't use straight white on your paintings. They can go to hell. Use all the straight white you want.
Would you run out of bi, pan, and gay white?
It's true. Straight white is less interesting than pan white. Than good old-fashioned queer white. And then we just need to grab some whatever shadow. This will work. I just gotta put some shadow work into this.
It's also really interesting to see like your workflow, like to see a painting doesn't just come together from one corner to the other. Like it's all over the place. Like you don't always work on one thing until it's done. And I guess part of that is like the paint has to dry so you can't. But it's just interesting to see like
You hop around.
yeah, all the time. Like it's constantly a different subject that you're working on.
Some
Yeah, the Bob Ross is wild. Like it is actually such good TV. Like the like palette knife making the mountains is one of the most satisfying things you can see on the screen. It's also just neat to see how much like problem solving there is in it. Like things never really seem to go down correctly at first, and like it has to be fussed with and like corrected, and like there's never like a finality. Like you're always adjusting things and stuff like that. I don't know. It's really neat. Bob Ross always does the like, oh, like happy little mistakes kind of thing, but it seems to be true. I don't know. I'm sure there's a like threshold. If I like sprayed a bunch of white paint everywhere on this, it would probably ruin it. But
No, I'd be a happy little mistake. I wouldn't be mad at all.
also, we get to see him beat the devil out of his brush, which is pretty great.
Yeah, that's my favorite part by far.
Yeah.
Alright. I quit. Give me a highlight here. And that's it. Time.
Okay. Would you set it for an hour and a half?
And
And then
then,
it was 3:57.
yeah.
All right, so 12 minutes more, so 100 or an hour and 42 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna round that up to an hour and 45 and
Yeah. Call it.
see if we can stick with that.
It's pretty good for an hour and 45.
Ain't that mad at it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was stressful. Guess I can welcome myself back to the land of the living now. Jesus. That's a lot of focus for me. I'm used to like dilly-dallying when I stream and paint and like just lounging about drinking tea talking to everybody. Putting a timer on myself really is like asking a lot. I haven't looked at you guys in a while. Alright, let me see this example you got. Oh wow, that's sick. I really like that. I'm a sucker for like animal paintings and I'm a sucker for like pretty landscapes, so that's very up my alley. But yeah, that's good shit. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long that would take to paint, but like looking at it, it's like it's gotta be a while. Like all of that detail. Be interesting to know what scale it's at. Because that's another thing with like viewing paintings in person, right? Is that like you think you know the scale of something, and then like you show up in like the gallery and it's like this
Yeah, the
big,
Mona Lisa's
and you're
this
like,
big, right?
how did you get that detail in there? Or you go and you like think it's like a normal size and it's like the wall of the gallery. So that kind of thing like changes the viewing of it so much.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's pretty big. 1.5 meters by 2 meters, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty big. It is quite big. Thanks, Scouts. All right, yeah. Let's let me show you guys. That's what we ended up with. I'm not mad at it. Like I said, I could easily fuss. Especially like I just like it doesn't the thing is it doesn't matter because like no one is looking at this compared to the thing I'm copying it from. But I didn't get around to getting this like dark area in here that you can see in the reference photo. In front of this stuff, there's like a big dark area here and a big dark area here. And I didn't get that in there. But this reads is fine, so it like doesn't matter. It's not stuff that's in like sharp contrasty view, so like it just reads as like generic foreground crap.
Yeah.
Which is all it needs to read as. But in my mind's eye, I look at the like reference and that, and I'm like, no, I need to put that in there, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's oh, you know what? You know what? Why it's not in there? Because this is
Cut off at the bottom.
Something's cut off somewhere. Because there's, in my reference image, there is a like big patch of like brown here, and it's not in the picture that I uploaded, which is really weird. I don't know what that's about. Is this maybe, let's see. I probably didn't reopen this after. I cropped it because it was the wrong ratio. Desktop button. Cropped it because it was the wrong ratio, and when I did that, yeah, I cut a portion of that off, and then I didn't reopen the image for myself. Interesting. Okay, that might make the following one just slightly different. I'm sure it'll be fine. But anyway, unfortunately I gotta skedaddle. That's all I can do for today, because we've got places to be, things to do, as it were. But I think this was a fun start to this experiment. I now know that I need an hour and 45 minutes per guy. So it'll be interesting to see if that time constraint feels like a lot less daunting in the other mediums, or if certain ones of the other mediums make that time constraint seem undoable.
Right. That'll be good intel, though.
An hour and 45. That's the baseline we're working with. So we're gonna head out. So thank you guys for hanging out for this. We'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow, probably around the same time, to work on number 2. Hopefully I'll have enough time to do 2 and 3, but we'll kind of play it by ear and see what happens. So, but yeah, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I don't really have time to raid out, so I'm just gonna good old fashioned end stream, and you guys can go on your merry way wherever you see fit. But yeah, I hope everybody has a lovely day, And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
It's been real.
Thanks, guys.